All right. We're back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday here at the GSMC Sports Network. Here to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling. So just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We had our AEW Dynamite review. We had our, my Thursday Night Wrestling preview. We also talked about TNA Emergence. We talked about TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordan Grace issues an open challenge on NXT. I talked about a couple of superstars that could possibly answer the challenge. Maybe, some people that I really wish will not, and some, returning superstars that could possibly come back with a bang, like Alexa Bliss, maybe like Charlotte Flair, maybe like Asuka. I don't know. I think it'd be pretty badass. I think it would kind of, equate the level of talent that TNA has, kind of lent to the WWE as opposed to, vice versa. Like, you know what I mean? What really has WWE NXT, given TNA really? Charlie Dempsey, like cool. Riley Osborne, yeah, it's cool, but not the best. Tatum Paxley, Izzy Dame, it's I don't know. I want to see like a bigger name. Obviously, TNA, she's the freaking TNA Knockouts World Champion. Like it's crazy. But yeah, I'm just a complainer. I'm just a complainer. All right, so now we're gonna move on to our fifth and final segment. We're gonna talk about the NWA hosted its 76th. Why does it do that? This its 76th anniversary show. They've been around the professional wrestling circuit for so damn crazy. It aired on obviously August 31st, 2024 in at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Fourth event under the NWA anniversary chronological or something like that. The NWA is a professional wrestling event that's been, it's on its 50th anniversary. But wait a minute, 676. I think it was as well, kind of with the AWA as well. In 1948, it was founded and it was funded by the NWA. The event has contributed annually until the 2005, and it's since been held periodically from shows from 2008, 18, 2021, and 2022. So, it's kind of crazy. October 2nd, 2024 was announced that the NWA 76th anniversary show will take place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, under the new head man, the front man of Smashing Pumpkins, Billy Corgan. He owns the thing. But yeah, I thought this was I watched highlights, and when I say I watched highlights, I saw a lot of shorts on YouTube, and I thought it was pretty good. With the NWA, like I'm a wrestling fan. I love, I was born and raised with WWE. And, shows like TNA, shows like the NWA, the MLW, like shows that don't get a lot of attention, shouldn't really necessarily kind of be kicked down. But I don't know. It's maybe some people get so used to like the fabrication of what professional wrestling could possibly be, where you could have a bunch of expensive set looking things and kind of like where you saw WWE SmackDown on Fox, where you had those holograms take place when on the screen, and it was like sometimes it can be a little bit too much. Myself and I love a little bit of an old fashioned kind of style, an old fashioned kind of look. I loved watching WCW because it just looked so raw. It just looked so natural. It looked like you were watching a wrestling segment, and WWE was great. And then you saw the sets kind of being broken down, and you saw the barricades being changed. Now they have LED boards on their ring, and it's cool and all. It doesn't really bother me that much. I remember when WWE went through this phase where, Armageddon, Backlash, Judgment Day, and it's just like decorations it just looked like, I don't know. For me, it's all about the wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, I get the aesthetic beauty of it, but that's one of the reasons why I gotta respect the NWA here. All right, to kind of go through the results a little bit, we saw Soda Pop Hendricks defeat Papa Don by pinfall in a singles match. Sean Carlson defeated the Rockstar in the singles match. Mario Pardua and Steve Boz defeated Fox Vinier. Also, Tim Theory by pinfall as well. Gangs the Gimp defeated Alexander Lev by pinfall as well. Zion and Magic Jake Dumas with Austin Idol defeated Baron Von Storm and Jax Dane by pinfall. Thrillbilly Silas Mason defeated Colby Corino. The Country Gentleman AJ Kazana and Casey Kazana with Joe Kazana defeated Daisy Kill and Talos with Vampiro, which was actually kind of cool because I remember watching Vampiro in WCW. Thought that was pretty badass. Also we saw the girls, the It Girls, Ella Envy and also Miss Star defeated the King Bees, Charity King and Danny B by pinfall. We also saw Jake Cartwheel defeat Alex Misery by pinfall. Natalie Makrova was the last. Won by last being eliminated by Tiffany Nieves by last eliminated. Sorry, excuse me. The Immortals Kratos and Odison defeated Blunt Force Trauma, Carnage, and Damage alongside of Aaron Stevens by pinfall. Mims, the BLKGs, the G's defeated Brian Idol, Burchell, and Carlson Drake by pinfall. Kenzie Page, retained her championship against Maxie Impaler, which was pretty good match. Pretty good match. You saw highlights of that one. Knox and Murdoch, defeated the Southern, the Alex Taylor and Kerry Morton with Ricky Morton. And Thom Latimer, where it was able to finally dethrone EC3 and be, and end the 360 something day reign of EC3. So I thought that was actually pretty awesome. I overall feel I feel how EC3, he's one of those other talents from WWE that, kind of made it up to the main roster. Didn't really get to showcase his talent, which ultimately sucked. I hated it. I thought he could have, definitely been like someone like an Intercontinental Champion. He could have been the USA Champion. But during the Vince McMahon era, in terms of creativity, like a lot of stars like Keith Lee, Aleister Black, they kind of fell wayside. Andrade as well. They didn't really know what to do with them. And now that he kind of made it to NWA, made the NWA his own, and losing against Thom Latimer, congratulations, Thom. Like, I love it. That's cool. But I don't know. I just feel like EC3 gave so much to this company. I really honestly don't feel like he should have lost. I don't feel like he should have lost the championship. And I know a lot of people be like, oh, if you don't watch the NWA, like, what do you know about how it does to the bookings and the creative styles and future promotional storylines and stuff like that? You're right. I don't tune into the NWA every week. But the 76 show is a big deal. 76 years is a big deal. 1948 is a big deal. Like I mentioned before, WWF, Jim Crockett Promotions. So that means WCW, ECW, WWF basically took a lot of these guys, took a lot of these superstars. It got to the point where the NWA was like, you know what? Let's partner with someone big. Let's partner with someone big here. They created a wrestling promotion with TNA. It was the TNA National Wrestling Alliance, and they had the NWA World Championship. They had the tag team titles. They also had the United States Championship, and it kind of fell wayside, and it just kind of sucks. And I feel like it was doing great. And then of course Dixie Carter hires Hulk Hogan, and then Eric Bischoff comes in. People want to control their own destiny. No one cares about the entertainment factor. No one cares. For an example, and I'll keep this brief. If you guys are Marvel fans, I don't know if any of you guys are Marvel fans. During the fight scene of Avengers Endgame, where Iron Man, snapped his fingers and he helped everybody, he defeated Thanos. What if, and this is a huge what if in Tony Stark's, creative clause stated that he could do whatever he wanted. He didn't have to lose against someone he didn't want to lose to, or he didn't have to do what he wanted to do. They're like, you know what? I'm going to snap my fingers, but guess what? I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die. I'm not going to do it. Like, it's just, and you're like, all right, yeah, that's cool and all. But didn't it open up a lot of possibilities for Marvel movies in the future when Tony Stark passed away? And I know this might be a huge, maybe like a kind of like a, the biggest, weirdest comparison you could possibly make. But sometimes you have to let the creative people do their thing. You know what I mean? Like you have to let writers be writers. These guys are, highly paid executives or not. Maybe they're just some guy that they picked up from the streets and they're like, hey, this is my cousin's, he needs a job. And WWE is like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do it. And Vince McMahon's like, oh yeah, cheap guy to pay for it, let's do it. Like it gets to a point where you kind of have to let the screenwriters be the screenwriters. That's what they do. They create creative images, very ethos, pathos, logos, kind of persuasion, rhetoric that could cause fans to fall in love with their product. And if you take that away from them, then essentially you're just kind of looking out for yourself. Kind of looking out for yourself. And that's something that Hulk Hogan did. That's the reason why him signing a 5-year deal, he announced it on the Impulsive podcast with Logan Paul. I'm not really a huge fan of it. I'm excited to see what he really has to do. He claims he's going to come back and do something in marketing and he's going to be the ambassador. And it's like, dude, like, do we really need this guy? Not too sure. But overall, the NWA was very successful in the past. Like, definitely like one of those things that, you know, you wish you would have now that they kind of revamped it, I like the direction it's going, taking baby steps, taking nothing but baby steps. It is on the CW app, so they are on the streaming services, so it's not like their company is, completely dead. But I don't know. It could be better. It could be better. But much like anything in life, you work at it super hard. There's always room for improvement. You know what I mean? At this point, sometimes you're just, never satisfied. All right, guys. So, hey, that's it for me. Hope you guys loved the podcast. Definitely loved seeing you guys tonight on a beautiful Thursday night football. Just found out the Chiefs defeated the Baltimore Ravens 27-20. Which is, I betted on the Chiefs, so I thought that was pretty darn cool. Although I did have Lamar Jackson in fantasy, and it wasn't, you know, the best. You know what I mean? But overall, thank you guys so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network, follow Twitter/X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates in terms of the GSMC Sports Network. And once again, if I have not made you guys a wrestling fan by now, in 20 minutes, we have my boy Amron with the GSMC Soccer Podcast. We have sports and more sports. We got the GSMC Sports Podcast with Jeremy. We have GSMC Sports Podcast with TJ. We got Fantasy Sports with my band Chris Shepard. We got two football podcasts. We got my boy Kenneth with the GSMC Football Podcast, my boy Manny with the Chip Shot Football Podcast, Nelson on basketball. And basketball might be off season, but it's always booming. News is always booming, bro. So, make sure, you stay tuned to their podcast as well. And if you're a huge college football is in full swing. Me, myself, I became recently a Texas Longhorns fan. This is my first year. They killed Colorado State 52-0, and they're playing, I think it's STSU or something like that. I'm not too sure. But I think they're gonna play Michigan in 2 weeks. So I can't wait to, it's like an ultimate test for my fandom of college football. Defending national champions. You know what I mean? Like, should be pretty cool. I can't wait to watch it. So, yeah, honestly, we got a lot of passionate podcasters who absolutely love doing one thing, talking about sports, but also love doing another thing. Definitely love communicating with you guys. Definitely love it when you guys comment on their shows. Definitely makes, our lives, I love it. I love it when I get a chat. I get excited. I feel like I'm on live, just kidding. No, but no, not that I'm kidding. I love it. I love it. All right, guys, stay beautiful. Have a beautiful Thursday night. But most importantly, love you.